are back braces helpful when you have low back pain? So that's the question we're going to be answering today. We'll go through when they help and when you probably don't need them. All right. Now, the reason we're going to be talking about this is because I saw a patient yesterday who asked me this, and we had a really good discussion about it. I know I touched on it a little bit last week because I posted an article for you guys to read and kind of my review on it. But I want to go a little bit more in depth for you this week, because there are times when wearing a back brace is helpful, and then there are times when it's not helpful. So first off, are back braces effective? Well, before we go any further, if we define what effective means, so are they going to help you in the long term to build a more resilient, robust, adaptable spine that gives you less pain and allows you to tolerate more of your everyday life? No, a back brace will not do that. But if you're in the middle of a flare up, if you're in huge amounts of pain, massive amounts of pain, and you put on a back brace and it helps a little bit, should you wear it? I would say yes. Why not? Why shouldn't you wear it? It helps to reduce your pain. In fact, I recommend for people to do anything in the short term when they're in those flare-ups or when the pain has gotten really, really bad, to just do anything that you find does give you some relief. There's no obviously within reason, but like things like back braces, I don't have a problem with those in those instances at all. So the issue is, if it's becoming something that you're always using, and you're not building your own independence away from the back brace, then it's probably not a good way to go. So this for me kind of, it makes me think about school, right? So I struggle a little bit with maths sometimes, so like just trying to get my head around it. And when the teacher was there and like walking me through it, really easy. And then when they're not there, I can't walk myself through. I've not built up that independence from them, if that makes sense. So they're there, they're walking me through how to solve the problem. I can solve it really, really easily. When they go away, I then can't do it as well for myself. So in terms of you guys wearing a back brace, if you want to be more active and exercise more, do more in your life, then you can wear a brace, but it's not necessary. All right. So it's not going to be something that's going to hold things together. All right. That a lot of people think that wearing a back brace holds everything in place. Holds your pelvis, squeezes your SI joints together, holds your low back in a certain position, keeps it more aligned or something like that, and overall that makes you more stable. That's actually not what's happening. All right. What it is doing, what that back brace is doing, is applying pressure to your body, to your low back, to your pelvis, and giving you the sensation of stability. But it's not changing any joint forces within the spine or the pelvis itself. So apart from limiting your movement slightly and giving you the sensation of stability, the brace isn't actually changing any of the biomechanics or anything like that. It is effective, all right, at restricting your range of motion. So it's allowing you to move less. And that alone can sometimes be the thing that helps to calm some of your symptoms down. So it can be useful, it can be effective as a short-term solution to those like super intense symptoms. Again, this doesn't happen because it's changing biomechanics or increasing stability. So if you're at home thinking about getting a back brace, or someone suggested you should get a back brace because you maybe think that your back is unstable, then you're probably heading down the wrong avenue, because there are actually very few people in the world who have unstable spines. One of those is where people have something called a spondylolisthesis, and it's a grade 3 or 4, and it's where the vertebrae sit on top of each other. One can slip forwards, and grade 3 or 4 are very large ones, and they typically only really follow trauma, so like having a car accident. So pretty much every single person on the planet has enough core strength and core activation to create stability of their spines. So we don't need braces to help increase that stability. And even if we do need to increase stability, the back brace is not that effective way of doing it, because again, it only creates the sensation of stability by applying pressure to our low backs. All right, but if you've got high level of pain in a flare-up or whatever, then giving yourself that perception of stability can be the thing that helps to calm your symptoms down in the short term. So this really is a video to say that they can be helpful for some people, particularly when the pain is really bad. And they work simply by adding a little pressure to your back and your core and your pelvis and restricting our movements. And that then gives us that perception of increased stability. But if you want to talk about what are the best things you can do for your spine moving forwards, it's figuring out ways to get more active and to build resilience within your spine, that resilience that you're going to need in order to get your pain under control without wearing a brace. Okay, so braces they are useful in some way, really only when we're in huge amounts of pain in the short term. Long term, we need to be focusing on ways to move away from that. All right, so that was like me with my maths GCSE. I needed to work on ways to get the answer an equation without the teacher being there and walking me through it. All right, so I hope you guys find this helpful. Have a great weekend. I'll be back with you all next week.